Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. It's a new week. Time for some more game dev. All right, let me change the radio over here. It's getting too cinematic. Here we go. This is the sound of game dev. How's it going? All right. We're back. We're working on our cutaway and floodfill systems this week. We're trying to finish these systems is what I would like to do, so that we're pretty happy with how they work. After the stream Saturday, I thought I had a better idea about how to do the cutaway stuff. I ended up being wrong, so I just rolled back a lot of what I did over the weekend. I just pretty much rolled it all back. So we're picking up pretty much exactly where we left off on Saturday afternoon when we were done. So I'm going to take a moment here and try to remember where that was. So let's just maybe run some stuff. Check the fill system. Are we still setting compartment stuff? No. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we have some stuff to address. That's for sure. So we have a problem with corners. It's because these corner pieces are not being treated as part of this compartment. They kind of need to be. Super weird. Oh, it's because I'm doing that. Yeah, so I need the walls to be... I think there's a shape that I'm going to basically make illegal, which is this. The 3x3. Well, that's not a 3x3, but I think I'm going to make this 3x3 shape illegal. I'm not sure how I'm going to. I guess I can probably just check to see if a block is enclosed on all sides by other walls and just prevent that block from being placed. Kind of not great, but I think that's something I need to prevent because it will break our system. Because right now, if you have a room, like a room, let's make a second room. Doesn't have to be the whole thing. We do have to add a roof though. So if we have this other room, even if it has a double wall like this, so the double wall is a bit of a problem in that you'll see these walls are trying to be brought down, but only the first one is. It's because this wall here, this inner wall, belongs to this room, and this outer wall here belongs to this room. If I made this just a single wall, then it would belong to both. So when I looked in here, it would hide all these walls. There's definitely some issues here. Like this wall obscures things, but it's not going to be included. I'm tempted to try some different stuff. One thing I'm tempted to do. So this is tough, how to deal with this. It's a little tough. Like this perpendicular wall that's not included normally. One thing we could do is we could just use like this. I can hide it by just moving my cursor over here. Because we just have another cutaway system that runs based on coordinates only, and it usually doesn't kick in. because usually we're relying on the compartment. I think I can live with this. All right, so we want to fix a few things. So one thing we have to do is the flood fill needs to basically start flooding diagonally. It's not currently doing that, and that's why we're having that weird behavior in the corners. So we need to fix the corners. Problem is, this makes the flood fill system incredibly slow. So like, I really did not want to do it this way. I didn't want to do it this way where walls had compartments. Like where walls belonged to compartments, but that's really the only way that this works. Otherwise, the system kind of breaks down in a lot of cases. So I think we're just going to accept it. Come on, music. You literally just finished playing a song called Unraveling, and now it's totally failed to continue. It's funny. It's funny in a couple of ways. There we go. See, I really don't want to do the flood fill this way. We're playing two different songs right now. Huh. I was like, that sounds weird. Pretzel Rock started playing two songs simultaneously. Well, we'll wait a second for that to come back up. Not my favorite music service. Definitely not my favorite. One of the only ones that works for my multi-streaming purposes, though, which is unfortunate. So yeah, I don't love this. I don't love this part here, which is the block with parts is block.parts or compartment. And we just basically are building up this bit field of compartments. I think it'll be cool to have this information, and I think it'll be worth getting, because then it means if you blow up a wall, we like know the rooms that the wall touches. So if you blow up an exterior wall, we can know to be like, oh, we're starting to lose oxygen. Like from this room, which is attached, which is connected to the outside through this wall. Like it'll be good to have that information, but it is kind of annoying to deal with at the moment. All right. Let's try this again. All right. I really don't like this structure of if buffer contains this and not visited contains this. So we're checking these coordinates. Now all we need to do is we need to include diagonals. Technically, that's all we need to do. I want to think of a better way to work through it, though. Can we handle the neighbors exactly the same here? We're gonna try to do so unfortunately this means instead of checking 6 coordinates, we're gonna be checking a lot more than 6. We'll be checking 8. God, is there a way to do this without having to do it like this? I don't think so. I think we just eat this, which I think is fine because we actually only need to do this at edit time. This isn't something we really need to do while the game is running. Like normally, like in play mode. This is like an edit time only thing. And because in edit time, we're not going to be running all this other background stuff, I think it's okay to do this. We really need a faster version, though. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but that's going to be pretty desperately something we need soon. Sorry, I'm having like really bad heartburn right now. All right, so I think the ugly thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna work through. I think we could write this in a way that's not as horrible to look at. We should probably just make a. We should probably just make like an array that's like all of the coordinates that we need to check. Let's decide how we want to structure that. And just say private static read only vector 3i. Can I not just do it this way? Oh, I need to name it. Neighbors. I don't like whatever this is. I'm just gonna type this out. Maybe not. Let's say vector 3i dot right. How do I want to work my way through? I think I want to go like 0, 0, 0. No, we're not doing 0.
Maximum
0.
warp.
Hey, no Jewel, how's it going? Should we do the negatives first? Should we just go clockwise? Maybe we should just go clockwise. From X. So it'd be like... Oh, I'm ignoring. Let's ignore the Z for now. I'm getting the Z wrong. So it's left, up, upper right, right, lower right, bottom, bottom left. So this is the 8. So it's gonna be all neighbors. So here's around just us with a, and then we might as well just do. We might as well just go up and then down or something. Shouldn't really matter what we do. Stretch. Thanks, No Jewel. Good idea. Started working at like 6 o'clock this morning. Coming back from a holiday Monday. So much to do. It's noon now. Already had a long series of work stuff to do. But it's cool. At least I know what I'm working on this week. It's kind of laughable last week. Kind of just randomly picked something. But it was worth doing because we're still working on it. So what I need to add here is 0, 0, 1. And then 0, -1. This is 1, 2, 3. $26. Is that how many neighbors you have? Because you got 9 and 9, 18 plus 8, 26. Yeah, this is really rough. So instead of checking 6 neighbors, we're going to be checking 26 neighbors. But I do want to prevent diagonal connections. Like if there's blocks that are, if there's like a cube here and then another cube here and they're only touching at like one edge, I don't want that to form a seal. So I think we need to do this. I'm just not happy about it. I think I want to put this on as a property of vector 3i. Is I think what I want to do. kind of want to split the z's. Yeah, I kind of want to actually make this a property of vector 2i. That's what I want to do. So we're going to take this. I'm going to go to vector 2i. I can just do that by doing this. Give me the file here. Okay, so it's going to be a static. No, Joel, you did some programmatic auto tiling for an A-Sprite script, so you can test your isometric tiles easier in A-Sprite. Connection rules are so disgusting to make. Ooh. Yeah, doing auto tiling directly in A-Sprite sounds not great. These are all constructors. That's not really what I want. I want like a property. Probably just put it here. Static. Vector 2i. Define. Does adjacent include diagonal connections? Does diagonal count as adjacent? Not traditionally, no. That's called orthogonally adjacent, is when they don't. Diagonally adjacent. Here, let's make this a function. Let's do a couple things. Let's do this super weirdly. Say public static vector 2i array. Or do I just want to call it neighbors? If I call it neighbors, then I don't have to make a judgment. I was gonna call it adjacent, and then pass in a boolean of whether you want diagonal or not to be considered. I think that could be fun. Adjacent, bool, diagonal. Include diagonal. Equals false. And then we could just have some private stuff here. With diagonals. Diagonals. It's insane. This seems like it's supposed to go up top here. Private vector 2i adjacent. I'm just gonna take this whole thing. Can I do this and then just mix them? Can I just also separately then do... Probably make this a single line. I don't love this, but you know, it might be good enough. I don't want to just be copying and delegating memory all the time. What if I do this instead? What if I just put this at the end? So what if after the adjacent ones we do the diagonals? This is really stupid, what I'm doing. So I don't want to send an array of vector 2s. I want to send a span. Read-only span. So can I say adjacent coords dot slice span dot as span? Parsatomics. Parsatom X. What's this for? You got bored of all the League of Legends streams, and I'm always coding, man. Thanks. Hey, we're working on we're trying to work on an isometric 3D version of FTL faster than light. We're working on some tools for that right now. How's it going? It's probably good to take a break from League now and again. We are always coding. I look forward to a day when we don't have to always be coding anymore. It has to be an index. No, I can do an int and start. I could say 4. I don't know. Oh, right. Oh, 0, 4. So this, if I ask for an adjacent span, we'll get a span over the adjacent chords that either includes the diagonal ones or it doesn't. This is like kind of dumb, but I don't know. I want to give myself the option to handle this differently. Let's see, we might hate it. we can say variable span. We can say read-only span vector 3i adjacent equals vector 2i. Oh, it's vector 2i adjacent true. Parse it. Parzito MX. I'm thinking of all the different ways to pronounce your name. I feel like there's at least 4 or 5 different ways I could parse your name. That's going good for you. You're working from home. You do industrial automation software. Feels lonely sometimes, but thanks for the stream. Keeps you company. You're learning Godot afterwards. You'll probably learn a thing or two here. I don't know about that last part, but I appreciate you hanging out here. We do try to create a chill co-working space. Hey, Jacob Dev, how's it going? That's all right. We're working on we're still working on our floodfill and our cutaway systems. Right now we're changing the floodfill to work diagonally instead of just pure adjacency, which is rough, but I think we have to do it. I just want to come up with a better way. So we can say something like for say I is less than what do we want to do? Do we want to do span.length adjacent dot length I plus plus. Adjacency didn't fill properly. No, that part's fine. We're dealing with literal corner cases, so it needs to be diagonal. Right now it's just crosswise and then up and down. We need to do diagonal filling as well, such that, you know, 2 corner pieces don't count as, you know, sealing an area. And we're doing this for the sake of our visibility thing, because right now when we do this, you can kind of see our cutaway system doesn't like corners, like these corners. It's trying to just cut away the walls in front, but it's having an issue with the corner because these corner pieces aren't being treated as part of this compartment. So it's coming up short. It should be deleting this corner, but instead it's deleting the one before it because it doesn't think of this corner as being part of the compartment. So that's part of the reason why we need to do this, to enable some new cutaway. We're doing like compartment-based cutting away. The upside is that every wall or block or whatever knows what compartments it belongs to. So a corner piece could, yeah, belong to like 4 or more compartments. Actually, I guess it could belong to 12, which would be crazy. I don't think that would ever happen. So we have a bit field for that we're setting. But now we just need the flood fill to go diagonally and do that. So I'm kind of just rewriting it a little bit to be less this verbose. So we're going to write it like this. We can say if fill volume dot contains. We're going to say coords plus adjacent I. And not visited. What we could do is we could say if not fill volume contains or visited contains. So if we aren't supposed to fill this area or we've already visited it, we just want to continue. How do people feel about this? I feel like this isn't normally how people do that. I'm kind of coming around to the idea. Instead of just having it like this, doing it like this instead. And then, okay, so if that's not the case, then we do want to add this. So we can say stack.push. We can say visited.add. We could make this a for each, that's true. Oh. Parzito. So is this to create random pixel scenarios? No. No, so what we're doing, let me disable this real quick. So when we're building these spaces, so this is 3D. There is an auto tiler that manages how things should appear. So we're doing this in 3D. So we have a system that can tell. Here we go. So we have a system that can tell where compartments are, like where the solid. So I know the background is blue, but it's supposed to be like the vacuum of space. So if we make a room here, the system can tell that this is sealed. You can see the lighter color. The auto tiler uses that to show that it's inside. So you can see if I bust a hole in the wall here, it turns back gray. So we have a compartmentalization thing going, but we have some issues with the way we want to do it. Which right now these walls know what compartments they're next to. And you can even do something like this. So they know what compartments they're next to. But they're having some issues with the corners because the corners don't know because we're not flood filling. So we're flood filling, which basically means starting from a search point and going to each neighbor and checking for certain criteria. So we flood fill the exterior and that tells us everything that's outside. And then we start flood filling each compartment until we've run out of compartments. So each compartment gets assigned like an index or a flag. And then the walls and stuff and the floors get recorded what compartments they belong to. So we just need to change that process a little bit. Huh. Well, that's interesting. So that's what we're doing. Also cool. Appreciate that. Will help you with coding the game after. It's more supposed to help me. Well, that will help later down the line for a number of things. But what all this stuff is supposed to be helping right now is I'm building a tool that will let me build these ships. Because right now we're just building these gray cubes, but we need to be able to build these 3D constructs that are these ships with like compartments and everything. Okay, nice. And yes, it's Parzito. Okay, cool. Parzito. Parzito MX stands for Mexico. Oh, nice. Makes sense. All right, so we can do this loop. This loop is for one level. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. How's it going? Same. Fill. Neighboring. Cells. On same level. Call this an adjacent cell. And then we do it again. Well, what we want to do is we need to do a check first. So we're going to do this check. So we want to do a check here. We want to say if buffer.span buffer.getIndex. Oh, I want to change this. I want to change this to just buffer.get. Or no, this is get or default. Word of the Valkyries. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good Tuesday here. So this can be just get or default. If buffer.get or default, coords plus vector3i.forward.is empty. Right, that's sufficient. So what we're doing, now we're gonna look up, or is this down? Unit vector pointing forward in Godot 3D space, but it's negative, so that's up. So actually what we want to do is we want to check, how is this right? Span is empty. Oh, we do have a containment check. Oh, yeah. We want to check to make sure that there's no ceiling above us. Hey, you having a good Tuesday? I'm too. Yeah, I am as well. All right. Starlight Lacuna, rating with a party of 6. Thank you so much. Red alert. Stargate Blue, what up? How's it going, everyone? So I don't think the is empty check is good. What we want to do is we want to check to make sure. We want to say buffer.getterDefault.has block.forms.deck. We want to make sure there isn't a floor here. How's it going? Welcome in, Raiders. Starlight Lacuna, Lily at Sunset. How's it going? How was the stream? What are you working on? kind of show you what we do. We're working on an FTL-like game, kind of like FTL faster than light. We're working on kind of an isometric 3D one. I'm a solo dev, so I'm working on it all by myself here. We work on it a bit every day, 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday. Stream was good. You were remaking one of your game jam entries in Godot. Oh, nice, nice, nice. That's awesome. What kind of game is it? Right now we're working on some literal corner cases in a floodfill system that we use. So if I set this up and oh man, I can't do this for the save my life right now. All right, there we go. I disabled the erase button. Don't worry about it. That's something we'll fix this week. So yeah, we've got a flood fill and it's doing some stuff to hide it when we're mousing in. But we're having some issues with the actual corners, and it's because we're not diagonally flood filling when we check to figure out where the compartments are. So we're adding that feature. Yeah, we have a fun little auto tiler that can do all sorts of stuff. Make doors. So yeah, we're working on changing our flood fill system, which is going to be very expensive. So we'll have to think about how to make that more asynchronous. It's an arcade-style defense game. Okay, cool, cool. I think that's a great thing for Godot. 2D then? Digital. So those shapes that you make, you'll save those as files, or how are you going to use those shapes for the games? Yeah. We can use some of them as like prefabs. Let's say we like design a room that we like. We could save the room as a prefab. We can already copy and paste stuff. It's really cool. You loved FTL. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, so like if I make a room here, let's just make something random. So if I make this room, and I like this room, say I put some doors in it or something. Let's make it a little more precise. So if I like this and I'm like, I want this to be a prefab, what we can do is we can just grab the whole thing, copy it, and place it again. Now we've got two of them. Don't mind the lag. It's something we're trying to solve right now. And then yeah, so so the point is we'll be able to make little things, save them, use those little things to make bigger things, bigger and bigger, until we've eventually got like whole ships, right? Like whole spaceships. That's the idea. It's the big idea. But yeah, we need to solve some problems. I don't love this. Oh, I think I have a solution for that. It's awesome. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, Starlight. I understand you probably got to raid and run, take care of some stuff. We also got ads coming in, but thank you, Raiders, for hanging out today. We're going to keep working here for at least another hour and change, probably. Streams are not as long as I would like them to be. So as long as this buffer does not contain a floor, we can continue to flood fill up. Here's a question. Thanks. You hope I have a great rest of the stream. I appreciate that. Hopefully I'll get to catch one of your streams. Since you stream before me, it's very possible. Just give me that. Let me give you that follow here. Let me shout you out to all the viewers you brought me. All right, we're in ads. We'll chill for a minute here. We'll be back to it. Thanks for the follow back. Appreciate that. All right. So yeah, so what if... So I know I don't want corners. I know I don't want corner pieces to create seals. I don't think I do. Well, I know I don't. But what I'm questioning more is what about a vertical diagonal? Or a corner. Like, so if we've got this, let's go down here a little bit. So if we've got this, and we've got our little room, it's going to be the smallest possible room just for argument's sake here. So we've got this little room. Obviously, you know, this shouldn't form a seal, right? Like this block inside here shouldn't be sealed just because of this. Because it's surrounded on 4 sides. This isn't Dwarf Fortress. You have to do a full... You have to make this to fully seal it. But the question is, what about up? So like, yeah, that makes sense. So what about this? Is this sealed? Like that, if done like that? No. So you should at least have to do this. But what about diagonals? So if we look at this, I think I want to enforce that a diagonal gap like this gap here. Although if there's a floor, that's sufficient. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I answered my own question, which is that I think you should have every single one of your neighbors sealed in. Like if you're a block, you need all 26 of your neighbors to be sealed for you to be considered. So this check doesn't make a ton of sense then. This check the ceiling straight above us check. We don't actually need to do this. What we want to check is we actually want to check our own. We want to say, if not, we already know our own block, right? Buffer span index, that's us. Oh, but you calculate the index in here. What if I just also recorded you out here? Block equals buffer.get chords. Do I need the index? I do not. I don't need the index for anything. Oh, I need to hold it on to it here, though. Say index buffer.get index. Should I just have a buffer.set? Would that just make life easier? Read write span. For 3D read write. We've got a get. Why don't we have a set? Public void set for index key value. Span index equals value. So that's set with an index. What if it's set with a set of coordinates? Public void. Yep. Oh, it wanted to do it for me. Here we go. Should I make this safe? Set should probably be safe. I would make that like try set or something like that. We could have a try set. Let's have just a set function. So we can just say buffer dot set block with parts 0. Oh, we would need to say buffer.set. We could say coords. Yeah, we don't need any of this then. So this is if we have both a deck and a bulk. So this is pretty simple. So we're going to check up. We're going to say if not block has a bulk, doesn't have a bulk or a door. And actually, yeah. Block.forms.door. This is going to become unsustainable. What we should do is like upper seal or lower seal or something like that. We should have a state in the block or an evaluation of the block that's more concise than this. Like if it can form an upper seal or a lower seal. But right now, let's just do this. So that's up, and then we're also going to ask if not block dot has so if it's got a floor, it can't go down. If it's got a ceiling sort of deal, like a wall or a door, it can't go up. So, but if it can, then we do this in offset in neighbors. This is going to be we're going to say adjacent equals. I'm going to say neighbor equals coords plus offset vector 3i. So we're going to do the same thing here. So here we'll define the same thing, except instead of being coordinates plus offset, it's going to be plus vector 3i dot back. And we'll do this one more time. Let's fill neighboring cells one level above. Fill neighboring cells one level below. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? Your stuff's looking great, by the way, in the Discord you've been sharing. Very excited to see the dungeons you're going to be making. All right, so this is slow as heck, but this will hopefully work. Should probably be renamed to adjacent. Or adjacencies. Typo and word adjacencies. Add adjacencies. Okay. As far as I can tell, this is not misspelled. Oh, save adjacencies to dictionary. It's literally not in the dictionary. Shenanigans, thanks. You're still heavily in the exploratory stage, and you're learning the inner workings of how things work with Godot. You finally got a workflow and idea that are driving you to get deep into it. Oh, nice. That's what it takes. You just need something that lets you dig in, right? Can I turn this into an expression body? I can. I will. That said, I still don't know if this works. I'm not going to make this optional. I'm going to make you have to choose. Oh, I have this wrong. Oh, no, I have this right. 0, 8. Remember, as span is like pretty cheap, my understanding. Yeah. Shouldn't allocate. I mean, all it does is it gives me a pointer and a length, right? I do this all the time. Our whole thing is underpinned by spans, memories and spans. It's fine. It's because we've got just one array that has diagonals. It has the, you know, cross adjacent. It has the directly adjacent first in the first 4 indexes, and then the second 4 indexes have the diagonals. So this is just supposed to be a process that says you can get the adjacencies and you can either include or not include the diagonals. I could write one of these for vector 3 as well. But right now we don't really need it because we have conditionals that gate the access. So the fill system here, we do the adjacent on this Z level. Should probably say Z level. But yeah, getting a span should be incredibly cheap. All right, this should work. Just delete everything else. Is empty. Weird how I checked is empty rather than a specific type. So I make this list. Oh, no, I make the list and then I return it as a span. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right. I'm going to take the same stuff and put it down here. I don't like the duplication, but theoretically we could replace it all eventually. So we don't have a fill volume here. So we say just buffer.contains. So instead of fill volume, we replace that with buffer. Kind of silly to do this twice, but I'm okay. Gotta run to work? No worries. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Great day at work. Alright. So let's see what this does. And by what it does, I presume it'll be immediately crash. For one thing, I didn't do this part right. Plus vector 3i dot forward. Would have noticed that. All right, let's see what this does. Besides freak out and crash. Oh, look at that. It just worked first time. Beautiful. We don't have that corner case anymore. It's probably slow. Slow as dirt. I'm trying to make this a little bigger. It should be slow as dirt. Yeah, it's pretty slow. There's a couple things we can do about this. But I'm pleased. Oh, now it's just straight up not doing anything. Why do you not consider these indoors? Okay, so when I said it worked, I should have said it's not actually considering any of this indoors. Which is curious. I wonder why. Well, no. No errors. Alright, then that means my logic is flawed here. So interior flood fill. All right, my suspicion is that the problem is up here in the exterior flood fill, and what it's essentially doing is it's filling the whole thing. That's my presumption. Hey, Matthew Sparks. Howdy, how was my Memorial Day weekend? It was awesome. Memorial Day weekend was awesome. Went and saw a movie. Good stuff. How about you? All right, neighbors equals vector 2i dot adjacency is true. I wonder what this, I should just see what this is. I want to see what we get. Crash, immediate get index exception. How did we start from -1? Oh, I know about this error. There's a safety check that we don't have, that we need to have, but I don't want to work on this right now. Oops. I'm just gonna put a breakpoint. That's what I'm supposed to do anyway, right? Let's just put a breakpoint right here. Pretty good. You had a bunch of people come stay with you. You realized that anything more than 2 nights is too much for you to be having people staying in your house. Yeah, there's an amount for everyone that's too much, right? I have there's an old family friend who has this phrase. It's something like, I'm sure it's not their phrase, but they're full of wisdoms like that. And they have a thing they say, which is something like, fish and friends both spoil in a week or something like that. Something about they really don't want to have people over for more than like a week. All right, let me look at my stuff here. Let me look at this array. 0, 0. Okay, the adjacency thing is going through correctly, so that's good. If I said false. Oh. This is wrong. I mean, I wrote it a certain way and it behaves the way I wrote it, but it's not the way I want. Kind of want to rename this neighbors or something like that. Neighboring cells. I don't know. We'll call it neighboring cells. Call this neighboring. Call this like get neighbors. Also call it get neighboring cells. You could say bool. It could be adjacent. Bool diagonal. Now we're going to write this to be weird. It's going to be like return, adjacent, and diagonal. Then it's going to be neighboring cells dot as span. It's just the whole thing. Otherwise, it's I'm going to say read only span for 2i span equals I want to write it in such a way where I can throw. Can I throw an arrow from here? I can't do this in JavaScript, but can I just throw an arrow from an assignment? Oh, yeah, in that case, I just want to straight up return. This is stupid, but it works. Let's just send both or either. I don't know if I guess I don't need this or here. Or I could do it a little differently. I could do it like this. That's fine. I like that, actually. It's still stupid, but it's a little better. Get neighboring cells. It's gonna be true. True. Actually, I'm gonna make these by default. And I can just pass this. Not worry about it 99% of the time. Is this ambiguous? If I just pass one false through, what does it think? I don't know. Let's see. Just gives me the diagonals. Okay, yeah, that's kind of rough. Okay. Okay, so that works. So the real question is, why is everyone considered inside or outside? Why is there no interior being detected here? Yeah, it does not seem to be working. Question is, it's not in the tile system. The tile system didn't change. For each compartment in compartments. Not equal to 0. Okay, I fixed that. Okay, the compartments. All right, here's where I think it's happening. I think the exterior flood fill. I think this is occurring. This unvisited dot count. just gonna put a breakpoint here before we return. Yep, it looks like what I said is occurring. So the unvisited count is reaching 0. And yet the visited count we're sending back has only 36 things in it. How is that? So bounds of volume, blah, blah, blah. Unvisited is bounds.toList. Yeah, okay, that's actually fine. And then, so you're going through here. And you're getting everything back. Oh, it's not even giving me a chance. I can't use a breakpoint here. I'm foolish. Debug.writeLine. Unvisited. Count. Give me the count. Oh. Where in the world did I leave this other debug? In the fill system, probably. Alright, unvisited is 0. That's the correct number. Unvisited should no longer be 0 when we're doing this. Or at least it should be above 0 at some point. Yeah, so... that's a problem. Try that one more time here where I can see the count. I like doing the debugging here because it shows me a count of how many messages have been posted, which is surprisingly helpful a lot of the time. Yep, okay, so yeah, it's filling. It's filling and it's filling all of these. It's kind of shocking. So it's punching through is what it's doing. Did I get this right? Am I doing something really silly? Like I'm checking the seals the wrong way. So fill neighboring cells 1 Z level above. What's 1 Z level above? It's not back, I'll tell you that. It's forward. Back is down here. Okay, well that's dumb, but easy. Okay, well that's a dumb reason why that didn't work. Hopefully it works now. I'm partly of a mind to like relate my vector3 functions to something less general and more specific to my uses, but then I don't do that. I kind of want some of this code to be the basis of a template system, especially the entity component system stuff. So I'm hesitant to like add very custom, very specific data, or very specific ways of thinking about this stuff. but it would probably be better than worse. Diginanigans, you're doing yours in TypeScript. It's supposed to let you use the Chrome dev tools when you run in debug mode. Couldn't get that working. It would be really useful if you can. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. All right, let's see what we get here. Crash. All right, we're gonna deal with that out of bounds access because I'm getting tired of having to think about that. If we can get the floodfill working again out today, I'll be very pleased. All right. Are you going to change colors? Nope. All right. So it's still not doing it. Dang. That was a very obvious candidate for why that would be not working. There's not another tremendous candidate for this to explain why. Huh. So fill neighboring cells 1Z level above. If this block doesn't have a bulk and it doesn't have a door, then we can go through this list. We pass this whole buffer in, yet that seems to be fine. Guess that's fine. All right, so what I'm thinking, I mean, it's obvious that the flood fill system is like going around walls or something like that. Oh, got someone I can ban over on Twitch. Got him. Blasted. Alright, so what do I think is happening then? Because we're using the right vectors now. Not block dot has floor. Yeah, not block dot has bulk, and not block dot has door. Could I say if not dot has any?
He's dead, Jim.
He is dead, Rihanna Journey. This function should work. Has any? I hardly ever use it. So it takes the forms that comes in, it breaks them up. This is way more involved than just a has check, but I have this, so I might as well use it. We're gonna have a different check for that eventually. Alright, so why are you running out of places to check in the exterior flood fill? How are you able to just blast through everything and check everything? If block.has block equals buffer.get. This should be stopping us. Fill volume.contains. Okay, so we get around all the flood stuff. Flood volume, get non-overlapping. Fill volume. Large flood volume. Okay,
but it's not a thing about making it accurate. It's a thing about making it feel right. If it's an accident that's an error that feels good, then you leave it in. You know, you want those.
All right, so I'm a little stumped by this, which means it's probably going to be really easy and obvious when I do eventually figure it out.
It's not a thing about making it accurate. It's a thing about making it feel right.
The only thing we changed was the exterior flood fill, and obviously the interior flood fill, but we're not even getting to the interior flood fill. We're adding every single coordinate to the visited list is what we're doing.
But it's not to think about making it accurate.
This should be preventing us from happening. This exact check. If block.has has block.forms.deck or block.forms.bulk. Otherwise, if block has block.forms.deck or block.forms.door, continue. This is supposed to be stopping us from doing this. But it's not. Why is it not? This should also be preventing us from doing stuff like this.
You know, if it's an accident that's an error that feels good, then you leave it in. You know, you want those.
Yeah, no, we should just be shutting this down completely and not flood filling any solid block. Not flood filling from any solid block. All right, well, we got about 5 minutes to figure this out. Just see if we ever continue. Oh, of course we do. Okay, well, that works. It's good to know. Good to know that works. So if I build this, and I build... Okay, well, that trivially works. So that's not the issue. The issue is that we're searching through everything. I flipped the conditional here. Yeah, I went from this, and it was just positive of if this. If fill volume contains and not visited dot contains, do this. All I did was flip it to get a continue. Okay. I would like to not end on this being unsolved. But you know, I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm staring at it and I'm not seeing anything, which means I probably just need to put it down and come back to it. And it'll be really obvious whatever it is when I come back to it. 'Cause yeah, right now, we're searching every single coordinate when we do the exterior flood fill. Like, because we get a list of places we want to visit. Then we do an exterior flood fill that we know starts from outside of the bounds of the area we're trying to fill. And so that floods from the outside in. Problem is, when we do this, when we remove all of those places that have been visited, oh, maybe we need to not return the visited list now. Maybe we need to return... No, we do want to return the visited list. Yeah, there's some problem where every single coordinate is being sent back, which Implies that the fill system is busting through walls somewhere. I can't figure out where. I am blocking it like this. I'm saying is R. If we have both of these, we're supposed to exit out immediately. I wonder if we're like punching too far. Are we maybe like offset? Vector 2i offset. Vector 3i chords plus vector 2i offset. I don't know. I don't know. We're basically out of time. We're gonna have to pick this up tomorrow. Oh well, it's not very exciting. But hopefully with fresh eyes, it'll become painfully obvious what we're doing wrong. And why the exterior flood fill is just punching through solid walls. My guess is somehow I'm getting the adjacencies wrong a little bit. To the extent that like maybe we're like overstepping. Maybe we're going too far. I don't see how we could be if it's just an offset and the vector 3 forward or vector 3 back. But you never know. All right, well, I gotta get back to work. Appreciate everyone hanging out today. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get a longer stream in tomorrow. First day back from a holiday is always really rough in terms of the amount of stuff waiting for me at work, but hopefully we'll get started a little earlier tomorrow. And yeah, bye Rhiannon Journey. Have a good one. Thank you. You as well. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.